to the Ringerverse. This is the Ringers Nexus podcast feed for all things fandom. We are Steve, the architect Ahlman, the builder and tinkerer of things. We are Jomi, the explainer Adeniran. You've got questions, he's got answers. Old man Van, he is the receding resurgent hairline. Coke Baby Chuck, the 24 karat closer. Together we are known as the Midnight Boys. Okay.
You sweating now?
You're high off the hummus right now, bro.
Yeah, man. It's like the fasting boosts my energy for some reason.
Hell yeah.
But then also combined with the iced Americano that I had and the Diet Coke, then the hummus, I'm like, I'm charged.
Wait, so you can't do a cold brew, but you can do an iced Americano?
Well, the iced Americano is not as much as the cold brew, right?
I mean, Americano.
Who knows the coffee? Who knows the coffee? Who knows it?
All right.
Follow us on socials, Insta, Twitter, Facebook, and TikTok, Jomi.
Yo, so I was at trivia the other day, and the trivia host, shout out Brendan, was like, yo, man, I've been seeing your clips online, man. I follow you guys on the TikTok and Instagram, man. You guys are really funny. Yes, we're out there, man. People are seeing us. Shout out Brendan. It was cool, man. What? We're out here, guys.
I'm glad we're out here, but Van, are you okay? Did you just try your pulse?
I did, because the Oura Ring is showing that my heart rate is 150, and that can't be true.
Okay.
It can't be true.
Jomi, do you want to take our boys' pulse?
Man, stupid future. My ring doesn't show my heart right.
Well,
it's true. That's what it's supposed to do.
Yeah, 150. I mean, you were jazzed up in that intro.
I was very jacked up. Look, what's going on with social media, Jomi? It's a cesspool.
I mean, I can't control everything. I can
AI.
control what I can control. And at the end of the day, the Ringerverse socials are going great. So, hey, I'm doing my job.
I can't wait until they make AI versions of the Midnight Boys. Can you imagine an AI episode?
Yeah.
That's actually horrifying.
Oh, I got news. My mom says no more porn talk. It's over.
Oh, she made the call.
She made the call.
Wow.
Okay.
She said
Who had to be done?
Snitched? Who snitched on you?
I think it was my sister. I think it
So
was
she
my
doesn't watch
sister.
the podcast.
My mother, no, she's not interested in the shit we talking about.
Okay.
She does higher learning. She does rewatchables.
But
But
not
she doesn't
Midnight
do
Boys.
Midnight Boys. She's like, I don't know all the things you guys are talking about. My mom saw Sinners and she didn't get it.
Okay.
She's like, she's watching stuff. She likes some of the Marvel stuff, but she doesn't really
She didn't
understand
get
it.
Sinners?
She didn't get it.
So they started twerking in the portal, and she's just like, get these fucking...
That part of it desperately confused her.
Sure.
She was desperately
It was pretty high concept.
She
I'll
was
say.
desperate.
You needed
She's like, I
to
thought these were
ask a bit
vampires.
to the audience.
She said that she thought all of those people from the future and the past were going to come back and save them in the end.
Which, not out of the realm of possibility.
She thought that he was going to start playing music.
She thought they were going to crump the vampires to death.
Like it was like portals in Endgame.
Yeah.
Coming from
On your
different
left.
times.
And I was like, what made you think that? And she was like, well, what was the purpose of showing it? Because he could call, she goes, so he could play music and call his ancestors from the past and from the future. And I'm like, yeah, no. I guess.
More like a symbolic connection.
It's a metaphor.
It was time and music.
Spiritual.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I think your mom has a point. The spirits would kick vampires' asses.
Yeah. And then she goes, well, if they wasn't going to come back and help out, like, what was the point of showing that? And I was like, I think
agree.
it was like a whole
I
deal. So this is going crazy.
Yeah.
It's going nuts. All right, we're on YouTube. Like, comment, subscribe, share. You can watch every Midnight Boys and every House of Art episode on youtube.com/@Ringerverse and also on Spotify. Programming reminder, House of Art has an interview with Tony Gilroy. Interesting.
Ooh.
Hell yeah.
Good tone.
Yeah.
Running the town right now, man. After that Andor success, brother, he's doing all the interviews.
I just saw Tony at Vidiots. It was great. Michael
You went
Clayton.
to see him there?
Well, I went to go see Michael Clayton, and he was talking afterwards.
He talked after. You like Michael Clayton?
I love Michael Clayton. It's one of my top 5 movies of all time.
Wow.
For real? So he wrote Michael Clayton, right?
Yeah.
And directed.
So my thing about Michael Clayton is this. I don't like it.
You don't like Michael Clayton?
Don't really
What
get
is?
it.
Is it a drag? Why do you not really like
What's there not to like?
I don't think that I fucked with it. When it came out,
you
it was
like
a
the
big,
bread?
It was a big deal, and I was kind of like, I don't know. I think that Gilroy is way up there for me, but Michael Clayton was a miss for me. I don't know why.
Have you only saw it once?
Only saw it one time.
What did we say about rewatching on the last episode?
Very true.
Second shot?
Give it a second shot. I'll watch it tonight. I watch it again tonight.
Mhm.
Then I found out that Denzel was supposed to be in Michael Clayton. Changed the movie for me.
He talked about Denzel being in fucking. He said Denzel was supposed to be in it. Russell Crowe
Mhm.
That
was
could have been interesting.
was supposed. He said basically every actor from the '90s circled that movie. Denzel, Michael Clayton would have been fucking dope though.
Yeah, for sure. All right, Button Mash shared their reactions to Elden Ring Night Rain.
Yeah,
Elden Ring. They're making an Elden Ring movie, I hear.
they are.
Yeah.
Alex Garland.
Who's going to be in it?
Somebody.
Whatchamacallit, the dude from the Alex Garland movie that I've refused to see, the Warfare.
Civil War?
So,
Oh,
not Warfare.
No, Warfare, right?
Which
Warfare.
one? But which guy that
There's
you...
a lot of
There's a lot of
guys.
dudes
The
in the
white
movie.
boy.
It's
Oh.
all white guys.
Wait, no, you talking
No,
about
it's not all white boys.
the Guardians of the Galaxy dude? The dude from what's that movie
May
with?
December.
Yeah. Oh,
Reservoir
Charles Melton.
Dogs? Yeah, Charles Melton.
Oh, you don't like Charles Melton?
I love Charles Melton.
So I tell you guys something about this Alex Garland Elden Ring movie.
Okay.
Sure.
After Garland makes this Elden Ring movie, you're going to get like 10 years of the weirdest Alex Garland movies that we've ever gotten.
I
Because
think
he's got
I
the
think you
bag.
might have already.
Because he's got the bag. Because like he at some point has to do an Elden Ring movie so that he can continue to make movies that are really, really, really high concept and like push it. Because he's got it. When I saw he was
But
doing
already,
Elden Ring,
but Civil War like killed it for A24 though.
yeah, I know, but I'm talking about like even more so than that.
Have
This
you
is the big one where you go get the big joint where you set and then you come back and you do a movie about a snail.
This is Denny. This is his dude.
This is his Dune.
Wow.
He's gonna come back and do all kinds of movies about different crazy hieroglyphic type actions.
Wait,
know
have
what
you
I'm
ever
saying,
played
with the-
Elden Ring?
Yeah, of course.
You did?
Yeah, I played it. I have to play it. Look, any game that everybody is playing, I have to play it.
Okay.
I cannot even imagine.
I can't
you
imagine
trying
you
to play
playing it.
Elden
That's
Ring.
how long
Why?
did you last in Elden Ring?
Not long
before
at
you-
all.
Okay, yeah.
I don't want
say
to
more
be.
than
Can I
12
tell y'all
hours.
something? There's only one game that I've ever played where I want to be in the game.
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Right.
The rest of these games,
You don't want to be in
That's
NFL,
such
you don't
a
want to be in
lie.
college
I don't
football?
want to be in the game.
You don't want to be in college football?
No, I'm the
Mario
coach.
Kart?
No, I don't want to be in the game.
Wow.
I'm playing the game. Elden Ring and all of them games, that's for people that wish they had those ears. You know, like they
what?
They wish they had elfish ears.
my
They
God.
wish there was an elf.
What is that? Like, if anime is for weebs, what is for like the
Oh,
white
that's a
people who
good
like the
question.
ears and shit?
They want to
The
be
white
an
people
elf.
who like the
The
ears?
white what?
Hold on, y'all gonna act like it's not a whole.
I don't
It's
know.
a whole
No, you
thing,
mean-
you know,
white
they
people
don't
that
want
wanna-
to
What
be
do you mean
elves.
white people that like ears? What
You
do
know they be dressing up as like elves and shit.
They want to be elves.
cosplayers?
no,
Nah,
it's
that's-
different.
I'm not talking about people.
They
I'm
be
talking
eating
about
like
people.
turkey legs and shit.
I'm ta-
That go to Ren
Fairs?
fairs?
Okay, wait a
Medieval
second.
times?
Wait a second.
First of all, medieval times
There's
is great.
3 different types. Okay, so vampires. There's a lot of white people who want to be a vampire. They don't
Okay.
just like vampire
Uh-huh.
stuff.
Got it.
They wish they were a vampire.
Right.
Sure. Okay.
Elf.
yes.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
They're all different types of white people. And these motherfuckers don't like to play elfish games. They want to be an elf.
I'll
Hell,
give
wait,
you
wait,
vampire.
I
I'll
thought
give
about-
you vampire. I'll even give you werewolf. Elves?
No, so many white people want to be elves. This is facts. What are we talking about?
Man, I'm not on the
You
same
never,
internet
you
know what the
wait, in
third-
high school, you never saw like the one like really pale chick who was walking down. She had like the fucking ears and shit.
Nah,
She wants to
No.
be an elf.
She wants to be an
I went to
elf.
school with
And then there's a
Mexicans,
third
bro. I
type
don't-
of
I don't
white
know.
person.
Timothy Chalamet wants to be black.
Well, we don't even count those, but that's actually a very good. This is 4. Okay.
There's a fourth.
There's a
Okay.
fourth.
I mean, that's like, yes, but no, right?
But then there's another white person, and these are white people to me
Mhm.
that want to live in post-apocalyptic times.
Oh, the
So
preppers,
doomsday
the
preppers.
Yeah, the
Preppers,
doomsday
they,
preppers,
but they
yeah.
want it to happen.
Right. They're
Like
into
they
tactical
waiting
things.
for it to happen.
They're
They
just, like,
want to
loading on
live
ammo.
in post-apocalyptic
Yeah,
times.
Buying canned beans.
Like you see, there was a white boy that used to be. That's why I got the MREs from. I was telling you guys, a
Mhm.
white guy that was in the army. That I saw the MRE. He had the MRE on the movie set. They were bringing the MREs and they were having the MREs for lunch. I'm like, you don't got to eat the MRE. Jack in the Box is across the street.
Right. Yeah.
Like, why are you making the MRE?
He's getting ready.
The lights are back on. Like, why you making it? He getting ready for it.
Getting
Frank
ready.
from
Oh
Last of Us.
yeah.
They're those type of people. Steve, you're one of them.
A prepper.
Not a prepper.
You're more on the elfish side.
You're one of.
Have you
wanna
ever
be
put
an
on
elf.
elf ears?
No.
You're a
Have you ever been to
What
a
do you
Ren fair
Ren fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and you've LARPed?
No.
You
No,
got
no, yeah, I have.
Whoa, definitely LARP.
There,
I have,
there's
I
some
have.
lore.
So let me
You've
tell you-
definitely,
so let me
you've
tell you guys
definitely
something.
I have.
I'm gonna tell an inside the Midnight Boys story.
Where I admitted that I LARPed? I thought I did this on
No, I know exactly what he's talking about. This is early too. This is Hawkeye, right?
So we were doing Hawkeye.
Yeah.
Oh, this.
Yeah.
Right.
Did this make it to the pod?
It didn't, but we gotta tell the story.
We gotta tell.
Because you guys don't understand how important, you guys don't understand like how fun it is to be around Steve. Cause Steve be doing stuff that is hysterical. You just be like, okay, so we were talking about Hawkeye. And there's a part in Hawkeye.
I think it's episode 2.
Where he goes to like a LARPing
Where they
thing
go
in Central
LARPing.
Park. Yeah.
Now, I had never, ever heard of LARPing before.
Right.
I had heard of it, but I don't think that I knew what the term was. Like LARP, right? So we're making jokes about the LARPers, which, by the way, is very rich. For somebody that watches Revenge of the Sith, like every Saturday,
Yeah.
to like make fun of LARPers is dumb. I got lightsabers the whole night. It was stupid. Steve called it right. And so after the show was over, I don't know if we've done this on the podcast before. After the show was over, Steve was a little nervous, or he wanted us to maybe take the part where we're making fun of LARPers out.
Right. Because they're like
I remember.
this was I was rather naive about like, I don't know, do we want to piss off those guys?
So
Like,
Steve went, yeah, the LARPing thing. What about the LARPing thing? And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, I don't know. Kind of feels like we're punching down a little bit. I was like, yo, Steve, you be LARPing?
I was like, I have.
Steve went, yeah.
I've been known to LARP.
And we laughed our asses off because it was like, Steve felt the way.
I know.
He was like, stop fucking with my people.
A little bit, but not real. Okay, it's just it was one of the times when like I wasn't exactly in tune with how you make fun of things and make fun of people.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know how he means this, so I need to actually test the waters to see like if he actually doesn't get these people or like is just making fun of how they are. And I'm like, how do you feel about that? And that's like what you do as a producer. You ask those questions about how some things sound. And I'm like, that's how it is.
Nigga, shut up. You was mad over the LARPing.
Okay.
Can we stop?
Yo, man, chill on my man,
Chill
bro.
on Steve, bro.
Chill on Steve.
First of
man.
all, I'm going to tell y'all something
Mm.
about that incident and about all incidents involving Steve. Steve was right. And as much as we give Steve shit, more than you, more than me, definitely more than you, Steve has the highest percentage of me looking back on some shit and being like, Steve was right more than anybody on the podcast. I swear on my dad. Like now it was funny because he was doing it because he got a little.
I might have been personally connected to
but he was right. I went back. He was right.
First of all, I fuck with the LARPers. Run
I
fairs
got
are
you to
dope.
play Dungeons and Dragons. I can get you to LARP.
Steve was right. Steve was on us for Dungeons and Dragons for like months. It's like, Van, you need to really get your shit together. I'm like, man, I don't do this LARPing ass shit. And then we get to Dungeons and Dragons. It was more fun. It was so much fun. I'm wondering like why we haven't gone back to do it again.
Where's
Maybe
Joe at,
Gotta
man?
wait
Joe-
until
yeah.
everybody's back in the city.
We might just have to do a Midnight Boys one.
Ooh.
We just might have to do a Midnight Boys one. You know what I'm saying? Just us and maybe get Aleya.
Cool.
You know, Aleya. Because basically Aleya, it's just basically we just need a woman. So we just throw Aleya in.
What is
Why? What is wrong with you? Why would you say
Bro,
that? Why would you say that?
Saji.
On this show today, we're having another draft. And this time
Please
it's the
eat
most
something today, Van.
racist characters in all of cinema history. Charles, why are we doing this?
I believe I remember the moment when you had the idea because it was in one of our insane production meetings. And for some reason, we were talking about the episode where Tony Soprano opens up the cabinet and sees the Uncle Ben shit.
It
Yeah.
has like a panic attack.
Right, yeah.
And then you go, we should have a racist characters draft. So we're not doing TV today. We're just doing movies. But shout out Tony Soprano, I think, was the one who really started this all off. Also, I think in the spirit of this, in this competition, we were bringing up Tony Soprano because we were like, sometimes racism is funny.
Mhm.
Like, whenever Tony was racist on the show, I was just like, damn, he's a piece of shit. But also, damn, Meadows' boyfriend. Like,
Yeah.
I hate it had to be you. You know?
Meadows' boyfriend was a little bitch though. He was afraid to stand up to his dad, That
That
wasn't
wasn't
a
like
good
Logic a little bit.
He did. That wasn't a good representation of who Meadows should have been with. So it was like 2000?
Wait, what? So what black actor around the 2000s should Meadow have been with?
Damn.
I
Because
mean,
that's in Meadows' age group, right?
Yeah, no, because she was in college.
So maybe Usher.
Usher on The
But
Sopranos.
how dark
would've
did you
been.
get though?
You can get pretty dark.
Because
Well, you don't want to be too dark.
Exactly.
Because then Meadows.
Honestly, you know what? They're in the news right now. Can you imagine if she dated Pusha T?
That's crazy.
Can you imagine Tony Soprano's just like,
But see, that they might have worked together, Pusha and
Yeah,
Tony.
that's
Maybe.
that's an alliance.
See, that's something they never explored. Tony with Meadows' boyfriend, they dealing dope, all kinds of shit. But anyway, that's why we're doing it. Spoiler warning for all racism.
racist movies?
Yeah,
Spoilers,
so-
things are racist.
Spoiler racist. things are
Spoilers
racist.
for racism.
We're getting ready to talk about the movies. You're listening to a reaction podcast. The spoilers are coming.
All right, let's get into it, Chuck.
All right, so we, the Midnight Boys, are taking a look through the most racist characters and portrayals throughout cinema. We will be drafting from a number of categories. They are action, comedy, Oscar, Tarantino, and wildcard. They can either be characters that are racist towards others or portrayals that have been deemed offensive and racist. Once a character from a movie is picked, that movie is off the board? Did we decide that?
I like that though.
So once a character from a movie is picked, that movie is totally off the board.
I
That's
don't know
tough.
if I agree with
I don't
that.
think we could do that though.
No?
Because we can't do that.
Nah,
we definitely can't
okay,
do that.
okay.
We definitely
No,
can't do
but-
that.
All right.
Now, before we get
I
into,
like
it's
it.
going to be snake draft. Kerm is going to pick. Before we get into that, I have to ask a really quick question. When we're not like in some of these, we're not celebrating the racism,
Mhm.
but in other of these, how do we account for characters that were racist, but by the end of the movie changed?
Interesting.
Because I still think they should be eligible. There's going to be a lot of characters who, quote unquote, realize racism is bad at the end.
Yeah, but I mean it's not the same thing, but it's on a similar vein. Like there's gonna be some racist characters that we laughed at, right? Because the racism might have been funny, right? Or something like that. Right. So ultimately it's just a matter of were they at any point racist or offensive
Got it.
and made, maybe not like maybe like in one case like super uncomfortable, and another one you're laughing, but you also recognize that that's dicey. It's dicey.
All right. Well, then, with that, Kerm, tell us who's going first, second, third, fourth.
So with the fourth overall pick in this draft, you know what it is, Steve. You got the fourth pick. You know
Dead
it
last,
is.
baby.
It's the rules. I don't make up the rules.
Hot
there.
corner.
Damn, that's crazy.
The third pick today is gonna be Jomi.
I'll take that.
I was gonna choose you for the first overall pick, Chuck, but I got some information on Friday that you switched barbers. We had the same barber, and now you left my dude. Shout out my guy Joe. So Dan has the number one overall pick. Chuck has the 2.
Okay, so
I just love that was his reasoning.
by the way, you just gave out the picks. You didn't do like a
like a random number generator or something?
Correct.
Okay,
crazy.
great.
That's how David Stern used to do it back in the day.
I love
That's
it.
true.
Yeah.
Okay, so for the number one pick, I have to do a character that is both.
Okay.
Category?
I'm gonna go Tarantino.
Okay.
Ooh.
All right. A character that is a racist portrayal,
Mm-hmm.
but maybe accurate, and a character that's also super duper racist.
Mm.
Now, this comes from a movie where there are two people that you could choose.
Yes.
I already know. I already know.
So yeah,
I am
obviously.
going
I'm
to
there.
go with Steven as portrayed by Samuel L. Jackson. I know.
Yeah.
I know that there's another choice that's sitting right there, but I think that Steven
It's more racist.
is more racist.
Right, so then we have to get. This was what I was worried about. For black characters, can black characters be racist?
Yes.
This Steven,
particular, yes.
absolutely.
This one can.
Okay.
This one has the theories and the explanations and the emotional allegiance to racism ingrained in him like no other character in the history of movies. I think that character, and this other character is the second, right? Second one, is more racist than Calvin Candy.
Wow.
I think he's more racist.
I don't know.
It's
Right.
tough. I think he's more racist because I actually think that Calvin was a little bit sweet on Steven, right? And that Steven is the one who was really giving steroids to Calvin's
Like he almost kept his racism in check.
No, Steven. So when you look at the dynamic between the two of them,
Sure.
Steven has such a deep-seated and deeply held belief in white supremacy.
Yeah.
That it affects the way he treats all of the other black people. Like Calvin is more willing to accept the way Django acts than Steven is. Like Calvin, Django says something, and Calvin's like, oh, whatever. And Steven's like, you gonna let this nigga talk to you like that? Like Steven is more invested into it than Calvin is. And it says so much. You know,
When Calvin dies and Samuel L. Jackson's cradling and crying, I'm like,
That's so nasty.
Django, I will be honest, there have been moments in the Tarantino films I'm like, all right. That was a movie where I almost had to be like, I can't do this. Like,
It's a lot.
I was like, I can't.
It's egregious.
Yeah, so that's my first pick. All right.
That is all right. You know what? Then I'm gonna go because there's a lot in Tarantino.
There's a lot in Tarantino.
I'm gonna go in action, and I hate it has to be this character, but you don't really realize as a kid what's racist, and you don't really have a lot of like sometimes you do, but other times you just go see a movie and you're like, man, that character was funny and they're CGI and it was great. And then it's not like look at your parents and they like, what the fuck is this nigga doing? I gotta go Jar Jar Binks.
Oh damn.
Jar Jar Binks is like,
here's the thing. I believe you did this, dog.
Here's the thing,
What?
man.
Bruh.
what?
Ahmad gonna fucking go crazy.
No, shout out Ahmad, we know, like there's been
Ahmad
a
gonna
rehabilitation,
lose it,
but
you going with Jar? You go okay? Talk to us about it. Talk it out. This is so pithy from you.
what?
No, I'm fucking with it.
It's just all right. This is how much Hollywood has changed because, like, in preparation for this, what you realize is how many classic movies where you like there wasn't one black person of color in the room that was just like, hey, yo, before we spend hundreds of millions of dollars, is CGI budget, marketing, putting this motherfucker on toys? Can we just make sure you're not talking in a Jamaican patois? You know what I'm saying? Like, here's the thing. Also, if I'm gonna be real,
This guy's dumb.
but also if I'm gonna be real, this is how I'm also not shit. This is how the Phantom Menace gets made because, like, I was at a part in my 20s where I was working at a very, very reputable publication. Let's say that, and let's just say the most powerful person ever, a white guy. This is why I'm like, all right, yeah, motherfuckers really don't say shit. Because every once in a while, he was really into reggae. Like, really into reggae.
Oh no.
Oh.
And every once in a while, he just walk into his office and keep the door open, white as can be. And you just hear the phone ring, and he just pick it up. And you just, he's like, Wagwan, bro, what's going on? That was like
no
3 or
way.
4 other black
Looking
people
like
who
me?
like,
No
Like
way.
looking like me.
worse.
Oh boy.
Worse.
Crazy.
But here's the thing. That's why I bring that story up to say, like, I can see how in the making of Phantom Menace, maybe there were some people who's like, hey, yo, George, do we really got to be like,
I mean, I think also, the
mass
problem
is tough.
I think the ultimate ethos of the prequels, at least the reason that mainly people didn't like them, is because nobody told George no at all.
Obviously,
during
because
that.
here's the thing. There are more racist characters that you
there's a
can
lot.
pick from
Just the Phantom
Just the
Menace.
Phantom
just the
Menace.
Phantom
Just
Menace.
the Phantom Menace.
I was
Oh,
like,
it's so
man,
nasty.
nobody said nothing. Nobody said nothing during this whole thing.
There's some semi in there too.
Ooh,
Like,
that character's still on the board.
Yeah. So yeah,
That's crazy.
great choice. Yeah, we cooking already at the top. Wow, Jomi.
Oh man. All right. I'm gonna do this because this is gonna be a good conversation. The year is 2008.
Wow.
You know, it's a big year for our guy Robert Downey Jr.
Wow.
Oh, I already knew it.
He was nominated for an
I
Oscar.
already knew it.
He did Iron Man, guys.
Let's
Same
go.
year.
That didn't even crack the Oscar nominations. For my first pick, third overall, I'm going Robert Downey Jr. and Tropic Thunder.
Oh, man.
Okay.
Oh, man.
This is
talk
where,
about it.
This
Let's
is
talk
where
about
we
it.
get crazy. All right. So the character has to be racist because he's legitimately in blackface.
Yes.
So there's no way.
Yes, no way. However,
There's no however.
there is. And I might have to call Brandon T. Jackson right now. All right. I have always maintained that even though the actual act of the blackface in the movie is undoubtedly racist,
Mhm.
that the character itself is a criticism of that act. That
Yes.
the
Which
character.
is, yeah.
I think
the
it's
char-
not-
that the
no,
And the movie goes
character
to great lengths to like
that the-
explain that.
that
Yeah.
the character is a criticism and a satire of people going to that length.
different,
Yes.
going all the way to portray a character they have no business portraying.
Right. And there is a black character in the movie that consistently calls out the behavior
So, but this
over
is my
and
issue.
over again.
I was watching Tropic Thunder. It is hilarious. Like, I was watching it this morning. It is so funny. Like, but this is always what happens with white stars. You know what I'm saying? They come back. They're hot. They get Iron Man. They get the role. And then they're like, what's the most challenging thing I could do? Let me do something super racist. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just like, Robert Downey Jr. didn't have to do blackface. Like, I get it's a joke.
But it's such a crazy time in Downey's career because it's the exact same year that Iron Man comes out. He was nominated next to Heath Ledger as the Joker.
Guys,
And
he was nominated for an Oscar for portraying a black man. Like that's actually an Australian.
No,
white
he's-
whatever.
He,
Like it's
of
the
a dude
most
playing a
ins-
dude disguised
Bro,
as
and
another
he's
dude.
too good at it is the problem.
Bro, I'ma tell y'all
He's
straight
too
up.
I'm not
good in
gonna
the
break
movie.
until the DVD commentary.
And
you listen to the DVD commentary. He's just like that. It's insane. It's funny,
I'm gonna tell y'all
but
straight
it's
up.
nuts.
The single funniest scene of that entire decade to me, of the whole decade of the 2000s, is Robert Downey Jr. going, I remember back we was down in San Antone. Take some crawdads and throw them on the like that's the single.
And the guy's just looking at him
Bro,
like, what the
I'm
fuck?
in the theater fucking dying. You know, some red beans, cornbread. I'm dying. I get it. It's definitely racist.
Yeah.
It's definitely racist, but I understood it. I understood
got it.
then, and
Sure.
I kind of still understand it
I still
now.
fuck with the movie. Here's the thing.
I fuck with it the fucking long way.
I mean, I don't co-sign it, but I'm also just like, if it's funny, it's funny.
If
It's
it's funny,
insane
it's
the
funny.
amount of stars that were in that movie too.
I was
Ben
Tom
Stiller
Cruise, Matthew
directed.
McConaughey.
Oh, bro,
Like-
Lex Grossman, one of the greatest characters of all time.
It might be honestly a top 5.
Grossman, to be honest with you, could be argued that little semi.
Oh, absolutely.
Ooh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It really shows you the pull of Ben Stiller because he got everybody in that movie.
I didn't realize like all the like I was like, oh, Bill Hader is up in this. bitch.
Yeah.
Like
McConaughey.
McConaughey's in that shit. It's like every scene. I was like, but that was also when Ben Stiller was just like cooking. Like he had meet the parents, everything. Damn, that's a good. I didn't think he was gonna go that high though.
That's a good pick. He's got to go that high, but it's one of
mess
my
with it.
most
Yeah.
unpopular takes. I defend the portrayal. I defend what was going
Wait, can
on.
I
with
ask
it.
this?
Yeah.
Do you think that you need the Teflon of the Iron? Because I feel like if you didn't see Iron Man in theaters, you don't actually understand the cultural phenomenon of like how hot Robert Downey Jr. is. Do you think that was like protected him versus if it was any
It was just
actor
a
at the
different time.
Yeah.
We got the joke,
I know
bro.
I know it's crazy to say 2008 was a different time, but it really,
It was,
really
bro.
was.
It absolutely
I'm
was.
telling you straight up. I'm sure at some point somewhere people were mad about it. I wasn't aware of that much chatter about it. I'm sure people were very upset about it. I got the joke. The joke was made and I got the joke.
Mhm.
Like I got the joke. I got what they were saying about how douchey that could be, how self-indulgent.
You don't recall any like bigger conversation
I do.
in the day.
I remember,
of that
but
happening.
social media.
wasn't around
Wasn't
to
out that long, no.
amplify
Yeah,
them.
and
So-
that was like forget that today.
Because
Forget
imagine if there was like, if Twitter was Twitter back during that time, people would have been like, hey, yo, but this motherfucker can't be in movies anymore, but they let Robert Downey Jr. be in blackface and he did all this.
I get it.
It would have been like,
and every time we had this conversation, because this movie pops up, it's the same thing. I got it. I got the joke. I got what they were trying to say. And in that realm, I still laugh at it. I
was laughing this morning.
Is
I'm
that
like,
kind
I
of an
shouldn't, but
amazing
it's-
tightwire act to do because you have like Hollywood's biggest star doing something like that?
Well, he wasn't Hollywood's biggest star.
Well, I
then.
mean, like,
But to your point though, yes. Honestly, yes, because you have to get Brandon T. Jackson's character right.
mhm.
You have to make that character just absurd enough to be for people to be like, okay, well, this is, if there's any seriousness to it at all, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, but also, we forget one of the first jokes that were introduced to Ben Stiller's character is him playing a mentally challenged person.
The whole
And they-
movie was that way, yeah.
They keep running with the joke, and I'm just like, to your point, I was like, oh no, yeah, I remember this era of comedy. I remember
Yeah.
we didn't give a fuck.
Fuck, right, okay. Steve?
time.
Steve,
It's a lot.
what's your first
You
pick,
got
Steve?
two?
I'll take Tarantino. I will counter with Calvin Candy.
Okay.
For
Makes a lot of
that
sense.
other one. I remember seeing that, and there's a couple of times when you see an actor do a performance that like makes you kind of like, it breaks your brain because you're like, if you as an actor or you as a person can unlock something like this inside of yourself, you kind of worry about that person.
You think Leo meant it?
I don't know.
I mean, Leo
shit.
himself was worried because he says that story about how, like,
Yeah, he was scared of
how
himself.
Samuel L. Jackson was getting pissed at him because he didn't want to say all the N words and he didn't want. He's just like, if you
Lock it right
Yeah.
now,
You
bro.
know, but yeah, continue.
But it's that level thing. Like the commitment that Leo has to that is astounding
Right.
and very believable. And not to say that like that an actor can't go to a place like that, but it's profound.
Mhm.
And the movie is brave enough to go there as well as Leo, and it's a crazy
I
portrayal.
don't know if we're gonna say brave.
Yeah, I don't know if brave is the right
Maybe
word.
not brave, but
Brave's probably not the right word, but it's definitely
bold. I'll say.
Well,
Bold
because
is
again,
great.
like
Bold is, yeah, I agree.
he's like, nah, I don't think I got it. I don't want to like go this deep into it. But ultimately that sells the performance when they're
Yeah.
sitting there at that dining table, right?
With the skull and everything.
And
it's
he's
insane.
like the blood is like creepy
Oh, yeah.
enough. But like, bro, when he says that the N-word with the hard R, I felt in my soul. I was like, yo, whoa, bro. Like, calm down, man. It's a movie.
Do you know what the interesting
is
thing
crazy.
about that portrayal is, particularly that scene? So, Calvin Candy's character is definitely super racist, right?
Yeah.
It has
Yeah.
no choice.
The Mandingo fights, the whole thing.
The whole has no choice. However, the indignation that he shows during that is not based in race.
Mm.
It's based in ego.
Yeah.
Like he has been swindled by Django and what was Django's
Christoph Waltz.
Christoph Waltz's character again? He's been swindled by them. They are there not to do what they said they were there to do. They're there to rescue his wife, and they're going to swindle him. That's what he's mad about, which is so interesting when you think about it, because it's an inversion to me of the entire project of chattel slavery. So chattel slavery is an economic system that, in order to make that economic system make sense, you had to endeavor into the dehumanization of the people. So essentially you come back to capitalism and how capitalism wants all of these people to be subjugated. So after a while of going there and subjecting human beings to what they were subjected to, you have to, A, make the Bible do work for you, right? You have to, B, convince yourself and your progeny and their progeny that these people aren't really people, because if so, how could you do that to them?
Right.
And then C, you have to have complete disregard for their lives. Calvin, it inverts. He is actually kind of talking to Django as if Django is a man, right? He's a guy.
Mhm.
Then, once the business goes bad, he has to explain to Django that you and your people all actually aren't shit. He has to revert back.
Mhm.
He talks to Django as a man first, and then secondly, he gets pissed off because of a business deal going wrong. So the psychology of that character is very interesting. Like, he loves Steven. Like, there's a relationship there. There's a part of Calvin that, I mean, he's definitely a hyper racist character, but he's also just like a sociological victim and product of the time.
Yeah.
He could be made to believe that there is a special black guy, right? But once his ego is threatened, he goes right back to, you know what? Wrong. Everything else I was taught is true. All you niggas really ain't shit. And that's
It's like it's the capitalism brain. Like, he's looking at everything like, this is, to your point, it is a business. These are products.
right.
And the way he's talking and schmoozing, it's like the performance from Leo was so good because I'm like, oh, you are a Southern businessman who was just like, look at what I built.
Right.
He's looking, when he meets Django, he's looking at Django like, oh, you're a man. You're not my property.
Right.
Like,
But you can't trick me, because at the end of the day, you're just a nigger.
Yeah.
Like, you can't trick me. Like, why haven't all of these people, you think that you're special, you think that you're this, but at the end of the day, you're still just a black man. All of these people should have rose up and kill us. Let me tell you why they don't. They don't because there's a special part in their brain that says that we are their betters. So it doesn't matter how fucking awesome you think you are. This is how you're made. So you can't fuck over me. It's just it was very, very interesting when you think of the movie and the scene in that context.
and I will say this is not going to be as smart or as eloquent, but I think part of this draft, it's hard for me to like, to everything you said I agree with, but then when we take the clips out of context and people post that, not my niggas that can't, I'm like, all right, can we take anything serious, bro? Can we take anything serious?
Man, one of the most uncomfortable situations I've ever been in was being in the ArcLight when watching Django in the Cinerama Dome and listen and like with the crowd. And it was like,
He was laughing too hard.
That was laughing too hard.
the movie is funny, but I'm not there yet.
Right.
Is that a nigger on the horse? Ha 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 ha. I'm like,
Wait, what was the
Whoa,
makeup?
what?
What was the makeup in terms of the audience?
it's all white. It's a dark light. Hollywood's only
Yeah,
1%
yeah,
black.
Yeah, so
Ain't no niggas up here in this part of LA where we live.
you're absolutely correct, because there's the scene with all the KKK members on the horses.
I can't see shit.
That is some of the funniest.
It's very funny.
The funniest movie making I've ever seen. But those guys are like, we gonna go hang some niggas, and I'm laughing.
Criticize.
Bro.
All right, Steve, you got another one.
Yeah.
Good pick, by the way.
What am I going with here?
Got a lot of options, man.
There are. Okay, I think I'm gonna go with in action. The microbots from Transformers.
Ooh, I
Skid
knew
and
this
Mud
was
Flap.
coming.
I knew this was coming.
Skids
and Mud Flap.
Skids and Mud Flap. was
Revenge of the Fallen.
Boy, I
And
knew
this
this
was-
was coming.
This was. I remember seeing this in the theater, and I was genuinely appalled.
They gave them fucking grills. They was, bro.
I was young. I was young enough to like think that this was bad.
Yeah. My sister was on a crusade. Shout out to Ebony Rage Lathan.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great pick.
Skids
Yo,
are like for anybody that hasn't rewatched or watched Transformers 2,
Wait,
Skids
was
and Mud
that
Flap.
Revenge of the Fallen?
Revenge of the
Revenge of
Fallen,
the Fallen,
terrible movie.
Yeah.
But somehow like the third worst Michael Bay Transformers film.
The first, I fucked with the first Transformers.
The first one is
I
really
liked it a
good.
lot.
The third one, I kind of mess with. 2, 4, and 5, take them or leave them. But the second one, man, those robots. There's a scene, I think, after they escape from the Smithsonian, whatever, and like they're on the run, and Leo is like, "Yo, man, I can't do this. I know I want to be involved with robots, but I can't do it." And I can't remember which robot. They all, it's very similar voices.
Mhm.
They're like, "Why we take this shrimp taco?" And it's like, "Yo, That's crazy.
Yeah.
What are y'all on? It was nuts.
And isn't one of the voice actors
Tom Kenny.
Tom Kenny,
Yeah.
SpongeBob?
Yeah.
Tough. Wait, but also, once again, it's over a Transformers movie. Like, who was in the room be like, yeah, you know what would be great?
Make them look like this.
Like, because here's the thing, they were racist, but also they was ugly and short and fucking. It was bad.
It was bad.
It was bad.
It was
bad.
absolutely
Wait, what? Wait, your sister saw this movie and she was just like, "Fuck the."
She was going crazy.
I get
That's
it.
real. That's real.
She was going crazy. She was leading a crusade on Facebook.
Really?
Yo, man.
Facebook group hashtag
She
no
was
more
leading
Transformers.
leading a crusade on Facebook. She was going nuts.
That was a wild time.
It is
It's like 2011,
All right.
2009. Jesus,
something like that.
All right, Jomi.
I'm going Tarantino.
Uh-huh.
This one. I'm gonna go with from Inglourious Bastards. I'm going with Hans Landa
Okay.
in this one. Just one of the worst people we've ever seen
Right.
on film.
Amazing.
Just,
performance.
I mean,
Yeah.
Christoph Waltz is
Yeah.
doing incredible work, but Hans Landa, the individual, is fundamentally one of the most disgusting people we've ever seen
Mm.
on screen. Just an absolute terror. He's again to your point, Charles. His performance is really like indelible. Like he like embodies it into the Leo thing. It's like, hey man, like if I saw Christoph Waltz, if I had just seen Inglourious Bastards and then went outside and saw Christoph
Yeah.
Waltz on the street,
It's like, hey man, I might hate you.
I'm crossing it, bro. I do not want any smoke. But yeah, super terrible human being, super racist.
Mm.
I'm going there.
That's a good pick.
Good pick, Chuck.
All right, this is what's gonna separate. All right. You know what? In Oscar, I'm going to go with a movie that I watched very, very young, and I was just like, yeah, they doing way too much in this shit. I'm going with Derek from American History X.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. That's
Now I
fair.
will say that he. Oh, this was you're talking about.
That's
this is what I'm talking. So
Yeah,
this
he
is the
as
important thing.
he
Where
is
it's like
reformed.
that character, his whole journey is like he's a racist neo-Nazi. He's talking all this shit. It's destroying his family, who's super abusive. He gets out of jail. He learns all this shit, and he comes to see what he's wrought. And his brother, all that shit. So like, this was an interesting one I wanted to bring to the table. Can we still pick him because the whole arc of the movie is how do you change?
So you can pick him, and you have picked him.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I would make the argument that he's also one of the least racist characters because
He curb stomps some motherfucking.
I get it.
No,
right?
I agree. That's
So
why I was
what
also,
I would say is though he not least racist is like a character that like becomes like a good dude and actively becomes anti-racist by the end of the
but
movie.
also, but here's my, but
But maybe he
here's my
probably, I don't know.
problem
He might go back after what happened at the end. Who knows?
But
my problem with American History X though is that I feel like a lot of people who watch that movie and see that performance don't even care about the arc of the story. They just like see the curb stomping and all of the arguments and whatever. And it's that's the reason a lot of times with these Oscar movies, these movies about race, I'm always like, ugh, because I'm just like, I get the message of the movie, but do you know how many white people I know who who would rather him go back the other way? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I mean, so for me, it was because I've got Danny on here too, and my thing was I would have went Danny over Derek just for the fact that like Derek figured it out earlier, right? And so like Danny's still racist. Like when he gets back from prison, he's a skinhead. The whole thing. Like if I'm picking like who's more racist out of Danny and Derek, I would have went Danny. But I see the vision.
I would have picked their dad.
That's right. I mean, he's like not eat. I mean,
I know, but Daddy delivered the coldest line. Daddy said it's nigger bullshit. I'm like, I'll never look at Boy Meets World the fucking same way. Crazy. Okay, my turn.
yeah. Yep.
So
You get two.
I got two. So for my first one, I'm gonna go comedy. Okay. And I'm gonna go for a movie that you guys probably haven't seen. That's from my day.
I think I know where you're
I
going.
think I know what it is.
And it's another iconic blackface performance.
Yeah.
It's on the list. It's on the list.
It's
Yeah.
on the list.
Yep.
I'm going C. Thomas Howell
Wow.
in Soul Man.
They did not thread the needle like Tropic Thunder did.
I
No.
can make an argument
Oh,
that C. Thomas Howell in Soul Man, that this is the single most racist portrayal of all time. So if you guys do not know what Soul Man is about,
This is the Cosby generation. They love
Soul Man is about a kid that wants to go to Harvard.
Mm-hmm.
He cannot go to Harvard. He can't go to Harvard because he doesn't have either the grades or the money. Whatever.
Money. It's the money.
It's the money. But he knows that Harvard gives minority scholarships. So he actually applies to Harvard as a black person, paints his face, does the afro. The entire movie, he is black. Now, it's not just that. There is a woman in this movie that wants to fuck him
oh man.
specifically because she thinks that he has a big dick because he is black. The movie is steeped, based, and grounded in stereotype and doesn't run from it all.
Did you see this in theaters?
No, shit, no. I was like 5. Like he falls for a black girl played by Radon Chong, and then has to convince her to still be in love with him, even after the realization
That he's white.
that he is actually a white boy in blackface.
No
He
way.
still gets the girl. That might be the most racist fucking thing about the entire goddamn movie.
Still pulled it off.
Yeah.
What's the
Oh,
worst?
man.
What was the worst scene in the movie, if you can remember?
So there's watermelon jokes in the movie.
Jesus Christ.
There's like every single part of it.
I've only seen clips.
That there is every single part of the movie. The movie is the DNA of the movie is racial stereotype. And maybe they were trying in some way to say that like this love story means that it's not about skin color. She fell in love with who this guy was. It's just not. It is the milk in terms of movies that have aged poorly.
Yeah.
But by the way, I've seen it dozens of times.
What? Dozens?
You was rocking with it?
Is it just as like a fascinating thing that they did? Like a
I remember as a kid, we didn't care at all.
really?
We would watch that shit as a family.
Wait-
My father thought that
As
movie
a
was.
family.
As a family.
My
wow.
father thought that movie was so
Wow.
fucking funny.
Really? Oh wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
my
What-
dad thought that movie was so fucking funny.
No
And
shot.
he'd be like, "Oh, she trying
Nah.
to fuck. She think he gotta." These people crazy. Like my dad thought that movie was so fucking funny. Like
That's
it just,
wild.
and
That's
it, I
nuts.
remember it when I started truly learning the history behind blackface. I remember it just dawned on me one day. I was like, "Well, shit." All the Soul Man was fucking. What the fuck is going on with Soul Man?
We were watching. He was like, "Oh hell no."
Right.
All right, your
Um,
second.
All right. So I have drama.
Okay.
Drama. Is it drama or Oscar?
You took You might have taken Tarantino first.
Yeah, it's
It's
Oscar. Oscar.
Okay. So it's in. Wait. Well, then I gotta go wild card.
Okay.
I gotta go wild card then.
Okay.
My wild card comes from the movie Higher Learning,
Mm.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
1995. Remy.
Yeah.
I gotta go with Remy.
Yeah.
Now, it's a lot of bail that people be shooting Remy. That Remy wasn't really racist. Remy wasn't really bad. He just didn't have a tribe and a family. And the brilliant John Singleton goes into great depth to expose how the white supremacy skinhead movement picks out exactly those types of kids that don't have family, that don't have structure,
Susceptible to that influence.
susceptible to that influence, and then radicalizes them. I get all of that. This motherfucker killed Tyra Banks. Remy is one of the most devastatingly racist, a true believer in all of it. I'm going Remy from Higher Learning. I could have picked a couple of other Michael Rappaport movies or Michael Rappaport in real life. But like,
All
I'm going
right.
Remy from Higher Learning.
I mean, hey,
Hey, listen.
okay. All right, that's a good pick. All right, you know what? In comedy, All right, in comedy, I think I have to go with just a classic example. Rewatched this movie in full before bed last night, and I was like, God damn, I gotta go with Miss Daisy from Driving Miss Daisy.
Oh, shit.
That shit was
Boy, Charles, I really like the character. You okay? So you going with it?
That movie. I was like, there's one point she goes, I didn't know that you wanted to see Martin Luther King. And my brother Morgan Freeman had to sit and listen to that shit on the radio. He goes through all this shit. At the end of the movie, she's lost everything, whatever. And she reaches out her hand and she goes, you're my best friend.
Hulk.
And Morgan Freeman's like, yes, there was a scene.
Is Hulk is Miss Daisy more racist or is Hulk more racist?
It's definitely
It's
Miss Daisy.
gotta be Miss Daisy.
Because also, all right, this was also the shit that pissed me off. Like, I knew it was gonna be bad, but there's a moment where I was like, all right, Morgan Freeman can't read. Like, what the fuck? She gives him the fucking Christmas. Dan Aykroyd, I'm like, dog, what is you doing, bro? This movie is exploring some very dangerous relationships between Black people and Jewish people.
Right.
And I was like,
Miss Daisy, Jessica Tandy won the Academy Award.
Different times.
have y'all seen Driving Miss Daisy?
I saw it in a film class.
I've seen. Oh,
Yeah, I
I've
saw it in
seen
film
it.
class, too.
Yeah,
It's bad.
I remember. What is that? Was that like 1990, 1989? I was old enough to remember Driving Miss Daisy being like a huge thing. It was a stage play first.
But
Yeah, 89.
even Morgan Freeman, I was like, not my nigga Morgan Freeman. That shit was tough.
Look, bruh, in the old Hollywood, you had to play a couple Hulk roles, man. You had
to be the magical Negro.
You had to play a couple Hulk roles.
That's tough.
All right, what you got, Jomi?
All right, I'm going to Oscar with this one. And it's a little older. This is a movie from 1961. But I'm going Breakfast at Tiffany's.
Yeah.
Ooh. I'm going Mickey
Tough.
Rooney's portrayal of Mr. Yunioshi. Legitimately, one of the most
this is just
disturbing
horrible.
things that we've ever put to film as a society. It's a white man doing the epitome of Asian stereotypes on screen with makeup, with prosthetics, the whole thing. It's legitimately haunting. And even I can't imagine what the temperature was like in 61. Again, because I'm a little younger and I've seen things like from the 90s and the 2000s, and I'm like, different times. I kind of remember those. I don't remember. I wasn't there in 61, and so for that thing to come out, people go, "Cool, great, awesome. Let's publish that. Let's have that live on forever." Just insane to me because that is legitimately one of the most offensive things ever put to screen.
It's nuts.
I will say this. Sometimes I'm like, oh, white people never have the feeling of watching a classic movie where I'm just like, I'm already prepped. If a movie was pretty much made before, I want to say 2010, I'm like, and it's a classic, I'm like, there's going to be something so racist in this that is just going to come out of nowhere. I'm just going to be like, yep, sure. Every movies from the 80s and whatever, I'm always just sitting there being like, when's it coming?
There it is.
Yep.
There's a couple more so on the board where I was just like, oh yeah, I even forgot that this character was even in this movie.
And a lot of it is kind of needless too.
Yeah,
Just
absolutely.
out of nowhere.
It is by most other accounts a great film.
You know how many John Hughes movies? I'm just like,
Why?
Why did you do that, John Hughes? Why did you do that, John Hughes?
It's insane. And those movies don't even have Black people in them. And so when they do put a person of color in, it's like, all right, I see what you was doing there. You was trying to be offensive. You was trying to be racist. There was no need for that.
Who's next?
Steve's got two.
That's me.
Steve's
I've got two. Oscar is a lot to go with here.
You can pick anybody from Crash.
That's literally on the.
Just
That's
name
what I
You
wrote on
need
the
to
board.
nominate
That's
the whole movie.
That's what
I watched Crash. Crash is the craziest movie I've ever seen.
You know what? For a sanctimonious 13-year-old that first saw that, yeah, sure, I'll do the entire movie of Crash.
You cast the Crash.
Sandra Bullock in the beginning was fixing the doorknob. She change the doorknobs. Look at this gangbanger you have in here.
It comes out there, he just gives her the key. I feel so sorry for him.
So when
so
we did
bad.
when we did we were in film class when we watched Breakfast at Tiffany's, right? And the whole thing was, like looking back at old films that haven't aged well. And the professor was just like, we don't have it all the time. Here's Breakfast at Tiffany's. I want you guys to go home, go watch Crash. That's next up, right? And I was like, this is 2003. How bad could it really be? Breakfast at Tiffany's 61. This is 2003. That was one of the worst films because it took itself so seriously,
bro.
Right. It was like we're making this.
This is like all-star cast. This is like a Hallmark card on screen. This is about the unity of the and
Dog,
it's like
and I want to throw up the whole time. I'm like, what are y'all doing here?
Within the first 5 minutes, Ludacris walks out of the fucking restaurant.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
And he's just
That's
like,
so
I can't believe, whatever. Look at all these races around here.
That's when I found out that Ludacris' name was Chris
Go
Bridges.
jack the car. I'm just like, hey, bro.
And they pull out the guns. You're supposed to get something profound from that.
Yeah, like what?
Look at the hypocrisy. Jesus. Then Matt Dillon sexually assaults a black woman, but later on saves her life.
Oh,
insane.
And then the conversation that Terrence Howard and her have after that shit,
my God.
I was like, burn this. Like, this is, once again, man.
What did it win?
Oscars?
Best picture? Best
Best
what?
picture, best original screenplay, and best film editing.
Insane.
Over
Brokeback Mountain?
Brokeback Mountain.
Oh.
Yeah.
Insane.
All right. Second choice.
God. Okay.
Like I
God.
just pick Crash.
God, yeah. It's just Crash. All of Crash. Okay, for comedy, this is okay. So there's like a point where I could like really put my foot in it and like get the conversation.
Go for it.
All right. I'm gonna acknowledge that like this was the one where like we're all having fun here.
Okay.
But Chris Tucker in Rush Hour is quite racist towards Asian people. A lot.
I don't know if I can do this.
It's tough.
I don't know if I can.
What's the problem? No. Explain
It's
yourself.
tough.
What's the problem?
It's tough.
It's true.
Okay.
Is it racism though?
Is it?
Yes, it is.
Guys, it's definitely racist.
No, he's being prejudiced.
Yeah.
But historically, Chris Tucker
tough.
don't have enough power
It's
to
tough.
really be subjugating.
When-
They are prejudiced stereotypes. It is very prejudiced, and it's race. But
It's tough.
also,
mean,
Jackie Chan was getting this shit in too.
It's yours. If you wanna go there, you already made the pick.
But
Why
also
not Jackie Chan though?
But here's the thing. I'm also imagining.
Why not Jackie Chan?
I'm also imagining like the graph and the social breakouts, and then if I have Chris Tucker,
Nah, go for it. You already did it.
Nah, it's that's
You
No.
already put them on there.
No, you did it.
No,
Nope,
so-
don't
have
backstep.
no
walk back now.
Okay.
Backseat.
You had options. That's where you
true.
went.
Now, here's the thing. Rush
Motherfucker.
Hour as a film is super racist. And Chris Tucker says some fucked up shit in it. But like I said, like Chris Tucker don't got no power in that movie.
Yeah, but at the same time, though, like when he's come off the plane and your first thing is, do you understand it? Like, you know what I mean? Like it's funny. We laughed.
Here's the thing.
That's
I don't care.
That's racism. Come on.
Every single time I see the clip, I think this is from Rush Hour 2 where they reveal all the women.
That's a lot.
Jesus Christ.
That's a lot.
Rush Hour
Jokes.
is not a problematic movie, man. I don't think Rush Hour is a problematic movie.
I don't think
Really? I don't think it's problematic. I don't think it's
Well,
problematic.
it is problematic because wasn't the writer of Rush Hour white though?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Red Ryder
like-
didn't write it, I don't think.
Oh, he directed it.
Yeah,
the
he
first
directed
two.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Let's have. Here's the thing: we can enjoy Rush Hour. Fuck it, I don't care.
We can enjoy Tropic Thunder too.
Yeah,
Yeah. But look, hey, go for it. You want to?
I just say.
Besmirch.
Besmirch.
Nah, I get it. Look, I don't know if Jackie Chan's. I can't remember. Was Jackie Chan's character was he racist towards? Did he
A
make
little,
racist-
but
he
not
said-
as.
Nah,
said the
No,
N-word.
I think it's more
Not
naivety.
really.
His
He
character.
did say the N-word at the bar.
But again, he didn't know. Like in that scene,
Oh,
the
he
joke
sure
is he
did.
doesn't understand what he's saying.
He sure did. That's hilarious though.
It's
that's funny,
a
man.
joke. He doesn't understand
That's
what he's saying in that
Funny,
bar.
though, man. That's not
funny.
funny when he does
It's
that.
No, it's funny.
Absolutely, dude.
It's very funny.
The scene at the beginning of Rush Hour 2 when they were in Hong Kong, man, and he's doing the Michael Jackson,
like the
and he like again, he's like, "I'm a god to these people, man." I'm like, "What you mean? I'm 2 feet taller than everybody in here." Like,
Yeah.
come on, man. Like, it's funny,
Chris
but it's
Tucker is
still
crazy, yo.
official,
That's
bro.
crazy
Like,
pick.
come
But I
on.
love that movie.
I love that movie. Go ahead. This is good. It's a little sauce, Steve. What
Yeah.
sauce? You got another one?
Did I just do?
No, you did too. You did
I did
Crash,
Crash
You did
and
Rush Hour.
Yeah.
That was Jomi.
Rush Hour. It's my turn. I gotta go action here. Is this? I don't. I think I'm gonna do. It is kind of racist because he do play an Asian dude, but he's not Asian. The Mandarin in Iron Man 3.
Oh,
Okay.
When Ben
He's
Kingsley,
playing a guy playing him, though. Now we know this.
yeah, now
right now, after the
Now.
fact.
after the fact, because they had to come back and be like, actually, so the movie comes out. We're like, hey man, that's kind of messed up. Y'all did that. Then they had to release All Hail the King, which was like a one shot.
Oh yeah.
Where they're like, oh, he's actually not the Mandarin, guys. There's a
just
real
yeah.
Mandarin.
Right.
This is just a guy being, hey man, we don't have this English guy playing the Asian dude for fun. You
Right.
know what I mean? It's a whole thing, right?
I'll say, why not Namor?
Namor?
Namor. Why not
For-
Namor instead of Mandarin?
Well, because racist to the black people, to the
To an
Wakandans?
entire fucking country.
Let's get this out right now. I didn't pick either person, but I had Ulysses Claw on my list.
I don't know if
He
you
doesn't do anything. He's racist, but not
It
overt.
seemed like to me that Ulysses Claw.
I don't think
Is
he
Is there a
was
certain
racist.
interaction that really
I don't
like,
think he
brought
was
that home?
racist. I think what it was for him specifically was he wanted the what you call it?
The Vibranium.
Vibranium. That was it.
Yeah.
He's a colonizer. He's absolutely racist.
I think maybe.
Yeah, but,
Not
he,
maybe.
but if
you're calling that
Vibranium-
racist.
It would be Claw, Mandarin, and Namor are kind of similar to me.
Where's Ulysses Claw from?
oh,
world.
where is Ulysses Claw from?
Fictional
I wanna say they
character.
had him South.
Man,
South
look at
African,
this. Ulysses Claw is the son of Nazi war criminal.
Okay,
Fritz,
all right. Well,
come on.
all right.
He was sent by Adolf Hitler to the
but-
small
not in
nation.
the movie. He was.
I'm just
Also,
saying.
Yeah, no, that's all right.
Why not Red Skull?
Definitely racist.
I already got
I don't think
one
that
on my-
I don't think that the Claw from Black Panther though actually lives up to the whole thing. I don't
I mean,
think that he lives
I mean,
up
if you
to it.
like Google racist comic book characters,
I mean,
there are some like Red Skull makes the list, but there are some that are legitimately just like, I hate black people. I
Yeah.
want black people to die. We haven't seen those in film, but there are definitely like characters that have been on pages that are just like, oh, you're the KKK, you've got a hood on. Like,
What about, you know who else in superheroes? Fucking Brian Cox and X2 Striker.
I I guess mutant. It is kind of like does what's it called? Magneto count?
No,
He's a human
No.
racist. He a racist
that
against
don't
humans.
count. That don't count.
You don't think he a racist against
He's a
humans?
fucking, all right, Magneto is a freedom fighter fighting for his people. You know what I'm saying?
I'm with it,
Uh,
but he racist against humans. He ain't got
no,
no.
he's
Yeah.
not.
He is.
No, he's not.
He ain't got no.
Have the humans ever? Were the humans ever right in any of this shit? No.
So
no.
he's a speciesist.
So I mean, okay, look, I'm with it. You know how I feel. You know what I'm saying? What I'm saying, he's like, Magneto ain't got no use for no humans.
If,
though.
if we're gonna be honest, my big problem with Magneto is that like A, he has a PR marketing problem. B, he drafts the worst mutants. Like if Magneto drafted better mutants, that
Right.
I think we would look at him a different way.
so what do you mean? Like who's holding Magneto back in the Brotherhood?
All right, I'm sorry. Like they can play the bench, but Toad and Blob, like, come on, bro.
So I think the
Like
thing.
Mystique is like
Mystique's good.
Mystique is great.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? If we're going comic books, I could see Scarlet Witch. I could see Quicksilver.
Right.
But you need to throw in some like you could have probably gotten to Wolverine first. If we're being honest,
Mhm.
like Magneto could have gone to Wolverine and be like, "Hey, yo, come on, bro."
So I think the difference there is that he preys on the mutants that don't have like the most desirable looks because humanity looks at them different, right? If you look at Wolverine, you look at Jean, you look at all those guys, you wouldn't even know they're mutants unless they like, you know.
I mean,
Use their powers.
no, that's the Morlocks.
Toad,
The
no.
The
But
Morlocks are more so.
no, but like Toad, like's got us like his vibe. He's like he got stink lines and flies orating from him,
True.
right?
Okay.
When you see him, humans are like, oh, look at that mutant, that's gross. So Magneto's like, you saw the humans treating you, right? Don't you want to be over here with us? They're like, hell
So
yeah.
Professor X is on that model minority shit.
Exactly.
He's only getting the light skin,
Exactly.
super beautiful, the redhead.
It's like that Family Guy meme with the colors.
Oh,
yeah,
right.
and he's like,
Mutant,
okay,
mutant.
yeah, you a beige, you could come in. Nah, you too dark. You look like midnight.
you gotta look
outta
like
there.
Halle Berry to even
Exactly.
make the scene.
Mm,
Exactly.
All right, who's next?
All right, I'm
You're
up.
next.
I got 2 categories left: Tarantino and wild card. Oh, fuck. Who am I gonna go with? You know what? I'll get Tarantino out of the way. I'm gonna go Jimmy from Pulp Fiction.
Yep.
And the reason I am picking Jimmy from Pulp Fiction
Okay.
is that was the moment as a kid where I was like, what's up with that guy? I was like,
what's up with that guy?
I had heard the rumblings. Like, I love Pulp Fiction. I love Tarantino films. But, like, get those dead niggers out of my... I was like, all right, you having a little bit too
Dead
much.
nigger storage.
Come on. Jimmy is the...
He's letting it fly.
He's letting it fly in a way where I'm just like, if I would tell Tarantino to his face, I'm just like, hey, love the movies, but we all know what it is. If Tarantino was a worse director, he wouldn't get away with half the shit.
What's more egregious? Him casting himself as a dude to say the N-word, or him casting himself a dude to lick Salma Hayek's feet in From Dusk Till Dawn?
I can't judge the game on the feet front. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I can't judge.
I can.
It's
That's
smart.
gross.
That's smart.
What?
Wow.
I mean, no, it's not,
King
I'm not
shaming,
saying
don't
that
do that.
I'm not
morally
king, I'm
it's
not
gross.
king shaming. I'm just saying.
Morally, it's gross. Yes.
Right? Come on, man.
Oh, more
Putting Margot Robbie's dirty ass feet up on the fucking dashboard. Honestly, I was in between Jimmy from Pulp Fiction, and honestly, this pissed me off. The Bruce Lee character assassination of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
It's tough.
That's
grim.
real bad.
Like,
That should have been chosen.
That pissed people off. That
no,
pissed
but
his
here's the
family
thing.
off,
Here's the
actually.
thing. I get why you say that. I still think Jimmy is the skeleton key, where forever I was just like, I don't know how I feel about it. You really think Bruce Leroy over Jimmy, though?
Bruce, you be talking about Bruce Lee?
Bruce Lee, yeah.
No. Jimmy's worse. Dead nigger storage. Jimmy is married to a black woman though.
So he can say it? That gives him the pass?
I'm not saying. I'm just saying I don't know what the fuck is going on.
But I also, it's just like, I get it. It's Brad Pitt. I get it. But I'm just like, that's Bruce. Like, that's Bruce Lee.
Have some respect.
Like, stop. Like, I get it. Oh, Hollywood history. Bruce Lee was a fucking dickhead. He was a jackass. People hated him. But, like, come on, bro. Like, he's a hero.
Yeah, it's true.
All right, last 2 picks.
Okay, so I'm going action, and I'm going to terrorists from True Lies. Okay, it's bad.
It's been a minute since I've seen True Lies.
Okay, it's bad. Now, there was a time in the world where Hollywood was just completely okay with casting Muslim people as terrorists in movies.
Yeah.
Which led, in my opinion, to a real societal contagion that came to a head like later on and has resulted in some really, really incredible Islamophobia. Now, if you are doing a historical movie or a movie that's about, some fight with some terrorist regime, we've seen the white guys were the terrorists in A Clear and Present Danger. It was the IRA. We've seen all of that other stuff, whatever. I get it. But, you're doing your fictional movie at the time, and I'm sure they didn't even think about it, but you're doing your fictional movie and you've made up a group called the Crimson Jihad of all of these Muslim terrorists. And it's just tough.
Yeah.
All right? It's
really
a
bad.
tough, really corrosive racial portrayal to me. So I'm going with
people would even argue, like, up until 2008, like Iron Man and the portrayal of the terrorists in that movie
Terrible.
is also like,
I will say
offensive.
there's a stretch, especially in the 2000s and 2010s, where you go back and watch some movies and you
Oh,
realize it's even worse than I remember.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
all right, you got one more pick, man.
Okay, so this is Oscar. What?
I think I know where you're going.
What are you talking about?
I think I know where you're going. I can see the in your eyes.
No, I guarantee you this is a movie that you guys haven't seen.
Okay.
So I thought about this one a lot. in Oscar. And I have to go with the character who said one of the single most racist things in a movie that I can remember. This is not a major character
Mm-hmm.
in this movie, but this comes from The Godfather.
Oh.
At the end, when I'm talking about most racist characters, this characters,
Okay.
one of their only scenes in the movie. But even watching this as a kid, I never, ever, ever forgot this. In this movie, which we all agree is the greatest film in the history of the world.
Well.
That's what people say.
Mm.
Godfather's the
People
greatest
say
film.
that.
People say that. I don't.
People say that, though. You name me a movie better than The Godfather.
Iron Man 2.
I love it, Jomi.
All right.
I love it. I love it, Jomi.
Okay. So I'm going to set the scene for you and tell you why I think this is one of the most racist characters ever in any film. It also hits home. They're talking about drugs and the drug trade and how the five families are going to do the drug trade, right? Vito Corleone doesn't want to do the drug trade. He doesn't want to be a part of it because he thinks that the drug trade will corrupt every single member of the five families. And there's so much time that the cops give to you that they'll be corrupted by having to snitch or having to sell out their capos and their bosses, right? They're negotiating it. So the character is a guy named Don Zalucci.
Okay.
He's one of the bosses of the five families.
Okay.
He says, I also don't believe in drugs. For years, I paid my people extra not to do it. He says people come in and they offer them so much money that they have to. He says we should do it, but we should confine it to the dark peoples, the blacks, the Puerto Ricans. They're animals anyway, so let them lose their souls.
That is sinister. That is from the depths
Don
of hell.
Zalucci.
Jeez.
They're
I mean, yeah, you
animals
win that one.
anyway.
That is nuts.
How do I not remember this scene?
Yeah, this guy right here. It's played by Louis Gus, Joseph Zalucci. They're animals anyway,
Jesus.
so let them lose their souls. Crazy.
Nah,
That's how they was talking to Do the Right Thing. God
That's how they
damn.
do
That's nuts.
Do the Right Thing should have been drafted, by the way.
A lot of game
I'm surprised that it hasn't been picked an Oscar.
Yeah, like I don't want it near schools. Is what he says. I don't want it near schools. I don't want it sold to children. That's an infamia. In my city, we keep the traffic and the dark people, the coloreds. They're animals anyway, so let them lose their souls. Never forgot it. Pick an Oscar from The Godfather.
That's chilling.
One of the most racist lines I've ever heard. And also talks about how they put these drugs in these black communities so that we can get hooked on it because we're animals anyway. Let us lose our souls.
Wow, so
And
he's
Oscar.
Oh, yeah.
a CIA member. I
CIA, member of the CIA.
Wow.
That's it. I'm done.
Wow.
All right, so for my wild card, I don't even know if this counts as racist, but I just got to put him on the board because I think this betrayal, I would really like to talk to this actor, be like, if you could do it all again, would you pick this role?
Mm-hmm.
I got to go with Latrell from White Chicks.
Oh.
I got to go with Latrell from
Terry
Latrell.
Crews.
Terry
dance
Crews.
The Buffy the White Girl Slayer.
Buffy the White Girl.
Wow.
Wow.
Like, because I was rewatching some scenes and the scene when what's his face takes off the mask
Yeah.
and he's just like, what is he? He's just like, oh, I'm not white. I'm a man. And he says, I don't care, Negro.
Get this shit out of my sight.
Get it out of my sight. I really want to ask Terry Crews. I'm just like, I feel like either he's just like, that role changed my life or that has haunted me since the day I've done it.
Yeah.
Because that performance, I think is just, it's incredible. It's very, very funny. But if we're talking about like Tropic Thunder, White Chicks, that era of comedy, Latrell is a character where I'm like, yeah, I don't know if you could do this today. Like,
Nah. Well, I mean,
you could,
you definitely could.
but it would be played way different.
Maybe. Like, yeah, just like being like so into the. I mean, but then when he's doing 1,000 miles, bro, that's funny.
Once again, racism is funny.
Sometimes.
Sometimes, guys, people are gonna put that out.
Asterisk.
Notice how I'm not saying a whole lot during this show.
How
at all.
funny do you think racism is, Steve?
There's no doubt about that. It's funny.
Seven
There's
out
no
of
doubt
10.
about it that it's funny sometimes.
7 out of 10.
7 out of 10. Racism is 7 out of 10 for you?
I get it.
You could have said 3/5.
There's no doubt about the
That's
fact
good.
that
That's
racism is
good.
funny. Sometimes it is.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's funny to me. Sometimes it's, when I say funny to me, I mean something racist will be happening to me and it'll be funny in the moment that it's happening.
Yeah.
Right.
Like I'll be mad, but I'm like, this nigga is really racist.
Because it's like so bold faced.
What I don't like is when the racism is not funny. When somebody's like, you're like, do you be online? Like, you monkey? I'm like, all right, bro. Like,
Yeah.
come on, man. Like, it's 2025. You
Yeah.
could be more creative than that. You know
yeah,
what
but I'm
saying?
talking about like you go someplace and like, you know, y'all know for me, one of the biggest pet peeves is people acting like I can't pay for shit. You know? That's funny to
Yeah.
me. That's funny when people go, yeah, well, we just, you know, we're going to require this and this and this. I'm like, I got it right now. I'll pay for the whole thing. Really?
It's like, you know, it's this much.
I'm like,
And then-
yeah, don't worry about it. Yeah, I could do it. It's like, damn, this nigga really think this nigga was really racist for real.
Could somebody get you on some reverse psychology to act like you can't pay for something in order to get you to pay for something
They do
more?
it to black people all the time. They
Lord,
do it
speak
to
on it.
they do it to black people all the time. They do it to they test you all the time. Little microaggressions to draw you out to make you prove your worth. They do it all the time.
Honestly, Jomi, your people when I moved here, you know what I'm saying? The Angelinos, that motherfucker showing the apartments racist as hell.
Oh, man.
You know, you walk into an apartment, they like, yeah, so how many people gonna be living here? Because you know, we got some people next door. It'd
Jesus.
be a whole family, 8, 9, 10 of them. So you single? I'm like, all right,
All right, man.
Yeah.
all right, man. Relax.
The one for me is when you be at the store and then the security guard follow you from aisle to aisle
Man,
and you're like, all right, bro, I can't just be looking at the wings right now, trying to decide between the party wings and the full ones. Like, I can't just spend like 5 minutes looking at the chicken. You gotta like not move.
you looking at the wings?
Yeah, also, it's true story, bro. This happened like right by the office.
I'm gonna be honest with you, Jomi.
You can't be looking at the wings.
Time out. Hold on.
Jomi, it's funny as shit that they think you're gonna steal some wings, bro. Bro, Jomi, that's
Racism is funny. Racism is funny.
Jomi, you come in that bitch looking so fucking. They think you about to steal some wings. Is fucking.
So
It's
the
crazy.
security guard looking at you be like,
Bro, it
This
was.
nigga
This,
going to the
this,
wings.
this the type of nigga that look like he about to go steal all the
I'm
wings.
in the back. I'm in
That's
the
funny,
poultry
bro.
section, man. I got my fish sauce. I got like all my other stuff. I'm trying to decide because you know what I'm saying. At that point, I had no bread. I couldn't just be throwing stuff in the bag like that. So I'm like, which one is more? And I'm calling my homie. She cooks, and I was like, "What do you think, man? Should I do this? Should I do that?" And I look to my side, and I see the dude. I'm like, "All right, he probably just, like doing his rounds." I'm on the phone. Maybe I'm a little loud. 2-3 minutes go by, and he's
He
still
peeks by
there.
again.
Not peaks.
Oh, he's in the aisle with you.
He's like hanging out. He's like, "What's up? Where we at?" Right? I was like, "Cool." I go over to another aisle because I'm just double checking, man. Maybe I'm in a weird spot. Nah, he keep with me. I was like, "All right, bro, this is what we doing. All right, for sure, man."
did you pay for the wings?
Of course, I pay for the wings,
I-
man.
You do look like the type of nigga that'll steal some wings.
Oh, Jameis,
Yeah.
steal some crab legs.
Like if I seen you like just like this,
I mean,
and you was going over to the wings department, I'd be like, "Hey, bro, do we have the little anti-theft devices that are plugged?"
The ring things. The
Like, we need to
It
put
works
some
when
of
the
those.
security guard's one of us, and I'm just like, damn.
But he get extra love if he get one of his own. I used to be a real asshole. I used to walk in places, I see a black security guard looking at me like that. I'd be like, "Nigga, they not gonna make you employee of the month. You should be letting us steal."
We supposed to be on the same team.
Yeah, you like. By the way, I've never stolen anything. As a matter of fact, it was always funny when people did. I've never stolen anything, but I'm like, bruh, you should be like, "Hey man, she gonna turn her back in 30 seconds. Go get you some non-laters." Why you being Captain America in this bitch? They don't give a fuck about you. Like, what the fuck? What the fuck you doing? I'm like, stop, get out of my face. By the way, I love it. Like the little racist microaggressions, they used to really piss me off and bother me. But like, if I see you, like, you know, I'm a big guy. Sometimes you walk by a white lady, and you know, they're a little bit afraid. And like if we're on the elevator and I see you like a little bit afraid, I mean, I start murmuring shit like, okay, just keep your cool. I'm not going back.
What's wrong with
I'm
you?
not going back. Just keep your
Why
cool.
would you?
Keep your cool. I'm not going back. I'm not
What?
going back. Or I'll be or if I like one time and Kalika got so pissed off when I told her I was on the elevator. I was having meetings, and this is just after I had got let go from TMZ. And I'm having a meeting. I'm going different places for meeting. Karen has set up a bunch of meetings. We're all over the place. We're talking to Macro, MGM, all of these different places, just having generals to see what we were going to do. And I remember I was on an elevator with this lady, and she took a step to the side. When she did that, I went, "Ooh, you smell good. Ooh. What is that? What you wearing?" "Oh, you smell nice. You smell good. Like that's crazy. You know, I haven't been out in a while, so I ain't smelled nothing like that in a while, man. I'm glad to be back out here. You know, just I'll fuck with you. We used to play the ATM game in Baton Rouge.
ATM game?
Y'all think this is a lie. Now this was just to random white people for no reason. Y'all think I'm bullshitting? Yeah, I promise you guys I'm not. Like if me and my homies went to the ATM and there was a white person in front of us, we would play the ATM game. The ATM game would be like, "Hey man, it's been a while since we hit a motherfucker up at the ATM." Shit, it's like old times. And one time somebody was like, "It's gonna be another while for y'all hit a motherfucker up at the ATM. This ain't no regular white boy." And we started laughing because they got that we were playing. But,
Sure, yeah.
But me and Rachel were talking about this on Higher Learning. I love to take these entire things, these microaggressions, and then make people uncomfortable with them.
Mm-hmm.
I've always loved it.
Now, have you ever thought that maybe the woman stepped aside, not because of racism, but because of like, you know, misogyny and just being a woman being in a man's space, the whole thing?
Could be, but black women don't step aside.
That is true.
So, I mean, could be. By the way, those jokes and like me, I've been doing this for so long, guys. I've been doing this for so long. I made the entire class uncomfortable when we were doing Huck Finn and Mrs. Smith. I've been doing this for so long. I enjoy making white people uncomfortable about this because
can I be
it's
real?
so ridiculous.
Part of me kind of misses when like white people would be scared and like move aside on the street, because now like white people's like, "I'm not moving." I'm like, "Nigga, I'm not moving." Like, then we got to do this. Like, sometimes I'm just like, damn, I did like a little bit more room on the sidewalk. Fuck it.
But you know what? When we talk about stuff like that, you know what is like a good part of the racism is that like lets people ask me for like change and stuff.
Dude.
Lets people ask me to sign petitions and shit like that. Like I'm outside and I see like a white person out there. They want you to sign a petition for some shit like that. And they're like, "Hey, sign a petition to stop this and blah, blah, blah." Outside, they ask 3 or 4 people. They don't ask me. Like we either we don't know, either we know what kind of day this nigga is having, or we don't know what kind of day this nigga is having, or we know this nigga don't care about the whales.
You know how many times I've sat by myself on a Southwest flight?
Oh, bro, that's great. Hold on, bro. That's great.
I'm not mad at it.
Like you sitting down, it's a row. You at the back in the movies when it wasn't. You sitting down, they go and will sit right by somebody, leave an extra. I'm like, okay, cool. The black protection.
Sometimes
leave me alone.
Even in New York, sometimes you catch an old racist white person. They do the look into the subway. Too many niggas.
They say, "Leave me alone."
Like, they just poke their head in?
Like just.
Sometimes it works out, but it's never, ever not funny. I've told you guys the Black Hawk Disown story before.
Yep. Yeah.
Like, all of that stuff.
Classic.
All of this stuff is funny, bruh. It's funny to me. It pisses me off. It's very upsetting, but I always laugh. Think about it.
So basically, you're trying to convince a Hollywood studio to recreate Soul Man.
I wouldn't do Soul Man.
Which blackface movie would you do?
But I would do something like it, though. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
You would?
Yeah.
Who's the actor who you'd be like, They have the gravitas.
Timothy Chalamet should remake Soul Man, man.
Oh my,
He basically already remaking that bitch anyway.
for real.
Like in his daily life.
For real?
Timothy Chalamet should remake Soul Man. But this Soul Man should be different. They should bring Soul Man back.
C. Thomas Howell has a son.
B.
And-
Thomas Howell?
C. Thomas Howell.
D. Thomas Howell?
Oh,
That's a bad
You're just
one.
going down the alphabet.
I'm
You didn't
sorry.
get-
Jesus
I'm sorry.
Christ.
I'm
Wait, his
sorry.
mixed kid from the original movie
Yeah.
looks too white.
Mm-hmm. He
Nigga,
is
that's
part.
a fucking genius fucking move, bro. You do Soul Man the other way. Oh my
Reverse
goddamn
Soul.
God, bro. Hold on, wait a minute. This Soul Man sequel is crazy. Mixed kid, because in that movie, so Radon Chong is half white.
Mhm.
Right.
That's Tommy Chong's actually probably half a lot of things, because I think Tommy Chong might be half Asian as part
There's a lot
Asian
going
as
on
well.
with Tommy Chong.
So you could do Soul Man 2, but it's actually, that's genius. It's actually a black kid
Okay.
that's passing for white.
Mm-hmm. But you don't need to put any blackface on.
Don't need to put any blackface
You
on.
don't got to do it. You just got to like, instead of being like, yeah, I'm black, just be like, actually, I'm like, kind of like,
No, you do a
Undercover
little.
Brother.
You do a little white face
Okay.
because he's now got to pass for white.
Oh.
You do a little white face, just a little white face. He's got to pass for white, maybe because Harvard got rid of affirmative action or something like that. He's got to do a little white face.
Mhm.
That's genius. That's genius. Or maybe he wants to be a part of Turning Point USA or something
but
like that.
Here's the thing: he's gonna fall in love with one of our black queens, and then she's gonna find out what the dad did.
Nah, he's gonna find out in love with a white girl.
Yeah.
Oh, you
Like,
gotta flip
some
fucking everything.
Tommy Lauren type.
He's gotta fall in love. He's gotta fall in. This is actually genius. He's gotta fall in.
Soul Man too.
Soul Man too. He's gotta fall in love with a Tommy Lauren, with a Megan Kelly, with
Right,
one of
right,
them, and they gotta be deep, deep in love, and then they gotta find out that he's black.
Mm.
They gotta find out that he's black.
We should write this. This is Midnight Boys Productions.
Midnight Productions.
Pew Pew Productions.
Pew Pew Productions.
Should make this happen.
Soul Man 2.
Yeah.
Motherfucker going to Columbia University.
Yep.
Yep.
So we gotta do Soul Man 2. Okay, so wait.
What's the hyphen?
The high we need the
little
after
colons?
the colon. So it's gotta be Soul Man 2. What?
Is it a play on like affirmative action? Is it like a
That could be it.
back in affirmative action? I don't know. That's a tagline.
Oh shit! This nigga Steve is right.
Genius!
Bro.
He's a genius!
Bro.
So back it up.
Bro. This entire podcast was created for that moment.
Back in affirmative action.
Oh, that's good. Oh my
I
god.
can already see it, bro. Bill's about to shut off the lights. He's like, y'all.
That was so good.
That was perfect.
Soul Man 2.
Oh my god.
Back in affirmative action.
Where DEI goes to DIE.
I'm telling you, bro. That is Soul Man 2. C. Thomas Howell is back.
Yep.
Radon Chong is back.
Yeah.
Everybody is back for the kid who is black but wants to pass for white.
So we can
He's-
get into college.
So he can get into he's into it with his mom.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh my god, he joins like a fraternity, like
Joins
the
a
widest-
frat.
Oh.
the whole nine.
Oh my god.
And he gotta act white, but it's crazy because he don't really know how. You know,
Bro,
he's so dope at hoops, but he kind of gotta act like
He's
he
gotta
can't
act
play.
like
Oh, he got to put on that
dance.
Morgan Wallen.
He gotta
Bro,
learn about.
He's listening to Young Thug and Future, and he's singing along, saying the N-word. They're like, "Yo, you say it too, bro?
Yeah, that's a funny scene.
We didn't know how cool. Okay, you down? All right,
That's
man.
a funny scene.
But here's the thing: he's gonna be out, and he's gonna see some sisters. He's gonna be looking back, and they like, oh,
Yeah.
like what? Come on, we thought you was one of us.
But he's gonna be exalted to the leader of this white fraternity,
Right.
Mhm.
right? Or maybe he's black. I don't know. I can't crack the story, but this is good.
This is good bones.
This is
Yeah.
Good
this
bones.
is good bones. And by the way, fuck it. I would make this movie.
Right.
I don't give a fuck what people say. I
on
would
the
make this
phone.
movie.
Give me a rights to something.
And it's a very serious issue passing.
Yeah.
Right? It's a very serious issue passing.
Okay, here's the thing. Do you keep it a comedy, or is there like a profound message at the end where we're
fuck
like,
all that.
okay, all right.
It's like it's
Fuck all that.
no. Soul Man 2
Right.
back in affirmative action.
Now, here's the thing. As we're all producers on this, you know who I think we need to get in? Would you let Michael Rappaport anywhere near this? You know,
I don't have anything
teacher.
personal against Michael Rappaport. He
No,
just
I'm
acts
saying,
like a
but he
fucking
could,
asshole.
you know, higher learning. He can. Now he's a racist teacher.
Yeah,
Racist teacher, one of the dads of the guys at the frat.
Ooh.
He's just like,
Who else is up in this bitch?
Okay, so it's Rappaport. So Timmy's our lead,
Timmy's our lead.
Timmy's our lead.
right? Do we need somebody that's a little bit more black looking than Timmy?
Because here's the thing.
Nah.
I think you could give him a fade, and he could. Kind
Oh
of
my
be
god.
like, damn.
Yeah. And then he's got to grow it out and like do.
But
like,
we
the
need
little side.
somebody we need somebody that's a little fucking beige or mauve or some shit like that.
Who's the white dude from the Atlanta season? Everybody.
Talking about Chet?
No. Remember the one where it was just like none of them were in it? Who does he talks to Kevin? Kevin Samuels is in that one.
I don't remember.
The dude is he trying to pretend to? No, that's
He's
the guy
going to
that-
school and he looks white, but he's actually black. Y'all don't
Can't
remember this?
Not
One?
I
Nah.
don't off the top of my head. No.
But like we need somebody like an Isaiah Hardenstein.
I'm about to say you could get Chet in there, or Isaiah Hardenstein, one of those dudes
Yeah.
who like love to be black, and it's like a cameo, like it's like a dream sequence, and he's just
Sure.
like, "Yo, man, like this being white stuff is hard." And Isaiah Hardenstein's like, it's not that bad.
Honestly, I'm about to put Jack Harlow in this bitch.
Jack Harlow.
gotta be
baby.
in
Oh,
it.
Jack Harlow's
He's got to
there.
be doing the music.
Come
All
on,
right.
but we need somebody in real life who's black though. That's the problem.
Oh,
We need somebody in real life who's black. We need the actor actually has to be
Pete Wentz.
black, right? We need the actor act like something like that, right? Because the actor actually has
Who plays
to
the
be
love
black.
interest?
light-skinned young actors.
Who's like the whitest?
Hey, by the way, we're gonna put this movie together then we're
TM.
gonna come
TM.
back.
TM.
and talk about it more because we're way off the beaten path. I
Right.
got
We
two
still
more.
got two picks.
We got 2 picks left.
Oh shit. Okay. It's gonna be a
Sorry,
long
we were-
post-credits. All right, who's picking now?
It's me. Guys, if you look down the list, it's only dudes. We've only picked men on
The
this.
racism has been a sausage
The
fest.
racism has been a sausage fest. Let's open it up.
Inclusive in our
Let's be inclusive in our racism.
Oh, I think
because,
I know where you're going.
guys. I mean, you could have picked this for Oscar, but
Oh, sure.
going wild card is the only option I got left. The Blind Side.
Yes.
Sandra Bullock's character.
Amen.
It's like when the movie came out, we were like, man, look how these white folks took this guy in, man, and they turned him into an NFL pro. Man, he's out there winning Super Bowls with Joe Flacco, man. That's
Yeah.
real. Wow. Then like a couple years go by, and we go, actually, he actually had a family. He had like a
Yeah.
bed. The whole thing was just fabricated and orchestrated
Yeah.
to make these white people look good. It's not really, it really doesn't flush anymore. And it's tough. Now, we look back at what we was doing with The Blind Side. That was crazy.
The amount of
Meat
times I
riding.
watched The Blind Side in high school, like that was the movie where all the teachers is just like, we got
Really?
it.
Dog.
I watched The Blind Side so many times. Any single time, like they was like hungover or whatever, they're just like, all right, it's movie day, Blind Side. I'm like, why
Wow.
are we watching the fucking Blind Side?
In high school, we got put on to Remember the Titans like 20
Remember the
times.
Titans is another, but Remember Titans is a classic.
It's
But
fine.
that's a great movie.
Yeah.
My
Ryan
opinion.
Gosling can't guard, but it's fine.
Yeah.
It was good. Nah, Blindside is I never had a bed before. It's like,
Right,
yo,
yeah.
Come on, man.
It's tough.
That's crazy.
That nigga was dunking. What like they had that nigga dunking.
Yeah.
Catching lobs and shit. What all right, what else? What's the next pick?
Steve's got the
Me,
last one.
last one. That's my wild card. So in my like extracurricular research, Disney should have been its own category.
Oh yeah, Disney's
a
bad.
lot of racism.
We have a lot for that. I'm gonna pick from there. The crows from Dumbo.
It's pretty bad.
That was when
yeah.
that was when it was like told to me that something was bad. I had only seen it when I was like 6 when I saw Dumbo, but my parents told me why those crows were bad. And ever since then I was just like it got me like inquisitive as to why, and that was like it was a formative moment seeing those crows. And not for good reasons. And I did not know that one of the crows was named Jim Crow.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I done forgot about that.
Yeah.
It's nasty racism.
This is honestly, and this is because I went to a black ass kindergarten. They put on Dumbo all the time, and
Yep.
they wasn't telling us nothing about the crows.
Why would they, right? Like, it's just one of those things where, like, people have an opportunity to, like, oh, we're going to throw this little thing in here. We're going to be like, and it's just like,
And it's how
for
it's
a
like
kid,
they
yeah.
sneak it.
Yeah,
They
for
try
a
to
kid, you're not
sneak
going to
it.
be like, man, that's offensive. By the time you're older, it's like, it doesn't
Yeah.
really matter. The movie came out in 1941. You know, like, that's really not, again, clearly not a thing they're worried about now or then. Now it's like, yo, that is legitimately, like, awful.
Yeah.
But here's the thing: to Steve's point, Disney was doing that shit like every other cartoon.
Song of the South?
Song of the South, the Cats from Lady and the Tramp. We got, oh my God, what was the other one?
It's deeply
many.
rooted in Disney for some reasons that if we talk about them, we'll never be invited to another screening again.
Yeah.
I mean, but the
I
thing,
mean,
Yeah.
they do that.
they join all the other studios.
But like they keep those things on Disney Plus. Like they put warnings that like, hey, this was wrong then, this is wrong now.
Mhm.
We're not gonna erase the thing that we did. But we also know that this story was beloved. So
here's the
put it-
thing. I have to respect that, by the way.
Sure.
Yeah.
I have to respect the understanding that sensitivities and things change.
Mhm.
But the only thing that you can do, people always say, don't judge the past by today's standards. That's stupid.
Mm.
That's what human beings do. We judge everything by the standards that we're in right now.
Sure.
Yeah.
We judge hunger today by the standard of eating. There might have been a time in human history where if you ate once in 3 days, you were pretty good.
Mhm.
Or if you ate once a day, you were pretty good because there was this different access and availability of food.
Right.
Right now, if you're only eating once a day or once every other day, we're not going to say, oh, that's what you do because you're out looking for a fucking boar. You judge hunger by today's standards. You judge racism by today's standards. Contemporary standards matter. They matter. There was a time where kids worked 12 hours a day
Mhm.
and nobody gave a fuck until somebody went, you know what? We don't think kids should be working 12 hours a day. They're kids.
They should be going to school.
They should be going to school. We should have all. So we're judging the way they were treated then by today's standards. The only thing that we can't be sure of now is that today's standard is the best standard
Yeah.
because now we see a
Yes.
very noted and public push to push things back to yesteryear.
I mean, and that's why, like, to your point, like, I remember this was happening around COVID, all the protests where all of these companies were like super scared and they're like putting these messages. And now, fast forward to 2025, these motherfuckers don't care. They're basically just like, yeah, we're not putting black people up in these movies anymore. We barely put women in these movies. Honestly, if you don't look like Steve, we're not putting you in these movies. So,
Dude,
like,
no.
sometimes I'm like,
When I was like, I had a list of characters I had on my list, but then I was like trying to scratch my brain to find some. I was doing some Googling, and all of the articles are from like 2016 to 2021.
yeah.
Mhm.
Right? Everything that you can find about like finding like racial stereotypes characters are all like a specific time frame.
Yeah.
And then after that, we're just kind of like, who cares? It happened now. It doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah.
Great,
Damn.
Steve.
No, because
wanna
it's got
hear
me
it.
thinking. Because as I saw all of those things from like my childhood of like, I loved all those Disney movies and all those things that were bad about it. And
I still love them.
yeah, and I think about like, okay, am I going to show my kid like Peter Pan? Am I going to show my kid Dumbo?
They'll have a lot.
And am I going to make those? And am I going to make those moments teachable rather than acting like they didn't happen?
I mean, I'll show them. I don't give a
Yeah.
fuck. Yeah, like,
But I understand
It's like shit ain't perfect.
No.
Or hopefully we get new adaptations to show kids or whatever.
Yeah.
Like shit ain't perfect. It's not perfect.
And it made me realize the difference between glorifying a bad past and erasing it.
Wow.
Well, I mean, some of it has to be erased. Burn the plantations down.
Right.
But,
exactly.
but at the same time,
we don't
what
put up those statues. We
what
don't have those things.
erase, we discuss.
Exactly.
That's it. You
I
know
mean,
what
in my household, they wasn't even worried about the cartoons. My grandparents were just like, sit down and look at these photos of your people being lynched. And I was like,
there you go.
what? Like, it's like, they didn't give a fuck about the movies. They're like, whatever.
Boy, we did. I feel like this was a very successful pod.
We potted.
Yeah.
I gotta be honest with
we
you.
made a whole movie.
The Soul Man thing blew my fucking mind.
So, man, wait, but I gotta read down all of our picks.
Go for it.
Van, you had Terrace and True Lies, Mark Watson in Soul Man, Joseph in The Godfather, Stephen in Django Unchained, Remy in Higher Learning. I had Jar Jar Binks in The Phantom Menace, Daisy from Driving Miss Daisy, Derek from American History X, Jimmy from Pulp Fiction, and Latrell from White Chicks. Jomi has Trevor, aka the Mandarin in Iron Man 3, Lazarus, Tropic Thunder, Mickey Rooney in Breakfast at Tiffany's, Hans Landa in Inglourious Bastards, and what's her name in the
Leanne Tui.
Sandra Bullock. Sandra Bullock in The
Sandra
Blind.
Bullock in The Blind Lady.
All right, and then Steve had Skits and Buff Flap in Revenge of the Fallen, Detective James Carter from Rush Hour, the entire cast of Crash, Calvin Candy and Django Unchained, The Crows and Dumbo. Steve might have actually did his thing.
Steve did his thing.
Steve really did his thing. All right, guys, before we get out of here, were there any picks that you were surprised didn't go? We didn't get the Do from 16 Candles.
No, we didn't do Pino from Do the Right Thing.
16 Candles is crazy because there's also racism that I didn't remember because at one point Molly Ringwald's homegirl in the beginning is talking about what type of guy she's like interested in, and she thinks she said black guy. She's like, oh, black guy? And Molly Ringwald's like, no, I said pink. And I was like, Jesus. What the fuck?
How would you mess that up?
I was like, what the
16
fuck?
Candles is nuts.
Chris Mannix from Hateful Eight, Walton Goggins.
Right.
Scarlett Johansson in whatchamacallit, Ghost in the Shell.
Yeah.
Is that
Right.
racism?
We should have Scarlett Johansson.
We should have had a Scarlett Johansson. Crazy. Yeah.
Jake Gyllenhaal in Prince of Persia.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Miles, what's the dude? Miles Quaritch from Avatar. He hated them and did well. It was
Yeah.
aliens, but I guess that counts.
No,
But I mean, you just like you
Fisher
replace it.
Fisher Stevens in Short Circuit.
Yeah, that's a big one.
We didn't do
Oh.
Pino from Do the Right Thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, talked about
Yeah.
that.
The dude from 42, Alan Tudyk.
Oh, hell yeah.
He was mad.
Byron
racist.
Della Beckwith from Ghost of Mississippi. He played James Woods, who's racist.
Also,
in-
we
Oh.
didn't do. I'm proud of us. We didn't do the easy thing where we just went with slave movies. I thought that was too easy.
Easy. I looked at it. I didn't want to be the guy who picked any slave movies. We could.
I mean, outside of Django, really, but
I mean, Django. Yeah, Django's slave movie, more of a western, but yes,
Sure.
slave movie. Slave movie. Slave movie.
We
but-
could have had we all could have picked somebody from 12 Years a Slave.
Yeah,
sure.
But that to me, I was just like, that's not really what the draft is about. to me.
It's not. All right, this was a lot of fun. Aleya, you have any thoughts?
What? Yeah, great pod.
Thank you, Aleya. Did you learn anything?
Damn.
I'm just gonna be quiet from
Aleya,
now on.
The silence is
Silence.
deafening.
Silence is crazy.
Leia, we hope that we can have you, learning from us. So thank you. That's it, you guys. No more podcasts. Listen, here's the deal. We're bringing you the content. We're between shows right now. Okay. What's the next show that comes out?
Ironheart.
Ironheart, but we're talking ballerina next week. John
About
Wick.
what? John Wick Ballerina.
Yeah,
Next is very
Ballerina.
special. When's that drop? That drops this week, right?
This week comes out Thursday, Friday.
yeah,
Oh, daddy. Are you guys excited about Ballerina?
Definitely.
yeah, it'd be fun.
Charles doesn't care.
Charles,
What?
do you think women-
There was a lot of reshoots. Any single time I hear about that shit, I'm like,
Yeah,
I don't know why they keep showing John Wick though. I would have liked to have.
yeah,
that
I would
as a
love that
surprise.
to be a surprise.
Yeah, but you got to sell tickets. So.
Yeah. So that's a wrap. This week on Reverse Feed, House of R has an interview with Tony Gilroy. Butt Mash shared their reactions to Elden Ring, Night Ring. Our producers in the Salt Factory are Steve Ahlman. Hashtag Steve was right. Steve was right. Aleya, Zenieris, Jomi Adeniran on social. Hashtag legal buyer of wings.
I do buy wings legally.
You purchased them.
I purchase
Yes.
them
Don't
from a
steal
reputable
them
source.
from
I don't
reputable
steal them.
sources.
I don't get them from a third party back alley source. I get them fresh and ready.
Never frozen.
Additional
Never frozen.
production from Arjuna Ramgopal. Thanks as always to Arjuna. Chuck, takes out.
racism is only funny sometimes. The Midnight Boys' hearts are true. Please come back in 3 to 5 years to buy your ticket to Soul Man 2.
I'm asking. I don't know that
Americano
much
has
about.
a lot of fucking caffeine in
It
it.
does,
Caffeine
yeah.
in it. Yeah, I mean it's not as much as the cold brew, but it's
No.
still a lot, especially for somebody who was so sensitive to the
And
cold
fasting.
brew.
Matcha is a way better. It's caffeine,
Mellow.
but it
Green
releases
tea?
over hours.
Well, guess what I'm gonna do, guys? Tomorrow I'm gonna
okay.
try some matcha.
There you go. Love that for you. Try the matcha.
Matcha. Matcha. Matcha. Let me tell you guys something about matcha. It tastes like dirt.
No, it does not.
Does not.
Yes, it
it
does.
Matcha's delicious.
It tastes like
Matcha is
dirt.
great.
I know, but why does it taste like dirt?
It doesn't taste like dirt.
So this is one thing I'll say about matcha. A lot of people like it, but it tastes like dirt.
Okay. All right. Well,
Dude, what does tea taste like?
Well, tea tastes like tea, which is interesting because matcha tastes like dirt.
Oh,
I mean,
Dirty,
each to
gritty.
each their own. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Do you like matcha?
I have not partaken in the matcha.
What's the Nigerian matcha?
Nigerian matcha?
Yeah, what y'all have there? What do
We
y'all
don't
drink?
have
What do y'all drink? What are the Nigerian?
So we were
drinks?
colonized by the British. So a lot of tea.
Wait. That's not what I asked you.
What do you mean? I'm telling you what we
I
drink.
didn't ask you what drinks the white man forced down. That's not what we
what a
asked.
great way to start this podcast.
This
I'm
is
asking
great.
what drinks did y'all drink before Steve and them got there?
That's a great question. I don't know. They were there a long time. They left in 1960.
That's
Should we
crazy.
start a racist drink draft?
We should.
A racist drink draft.
colonized foods.